Picked up this 72 Chevelle station wagon about 4 months ago and been driving it since I got it. It sat for about 20 years and poured a little fuel down the carburetor. New battery and she fired right up. But as of about a week and a half ago, I stopped driving it, put it up on blocks here and started working on it. Put a set of long tube headers on it and new valve covers Dad gave me. Got a new air cleaner coming in the mail. Just kind of sprucing it up. It's a pretty original car. I threw these torque thrusts on it right after I got it. It had the original hubcaps and all on it. The guy I got it off of had the car since 1977. But anyways, since I got up in the air here messing with these headers, I figure I might as well install some suspension. I got some tubular control arms and coilovers and stuff I've had sitting around for a while. So I think I'm going to get started on that today. Alrighty, there's step one. It's definitely very original in here. We painted up these brakes when we put the wheels on it. I think I'm gonna take all this crap apart and maybe throw some black spray paint up here on the frame rail, make it look nice. Went ahead and made some progress off camera here. Got the calipers off and the sway bar end links disconnected and the tie rods disconnected as well. So I was sitting here working on these shocks, kind of fighting them because they got the like a 9/16 nut up top here and a little machine spot on top of the shock that you got to hold with a 1/4 inch wrench. And that just doesn't work very good. So if you're not reusing your shocks, what I do is clamp a little vice grip on there real tight on the shaft of the shock. You can reach up here with a ratchet, put a 9/16 on it. And it usually works really good. It keeps the shaft from spinning and you can pull the shock right off. There it is. Huh? There we go. So this side was spinning. I tried to take off the impact. Turns out it broke the tabs or whatever the heck these little clips are that hold the nuts to the control arm there. So I ended up having to freaking use a 1/4 inch drive ratchet here because I couldn't get the 3/8 through the spring with the 1/2 inch socket on it and get it sitting on that nut and jamming up against something and hit it with the impact, and they both eventually came out. So I think the shock is free. Oh man. Ah, there it is. Alright. I think I'm gonna work on getting these hubs off now. Okay, there's that. Now I gotta take the caliper mount and the steering arm off because the new spindle uses all that old stuff. This backing plate's got a little locking tab on it. Okie dokie. Now to bust these ball joints loose and take that spring out, I guess. All right. Now for the dangerous part. Good Lord, what a quick release. Watch out.
Oh, sure.
All right. Got the springs out, and Dad and I went ahead and got the upper and lower control arms out and all the front suspension stuff there, and I think that's all I'm going to do for today. Got to get all this cleaned up and painted, and I'll go ahead and resume this video tomorrow. Alright, it's been several days since I left off in the video, but got some stuff done here. Cleaned up the frame, painted it, and I went ahead and started assembling it. The right side's done, this side's almost done. I figured I'd go through some of the parts I used here. So I've got these tubular upper and lowers. They're just eBay tubulars. Changed out the ball joints for Moogs because I didn't trust the ones that come in them. These are Viking double adjustable coilovers I got from Global West. And these are 2-inch drop spindles from Speedway Motors. They're the G-Comp spindle. Everything went pretty good. Not many modifications needed to happen besides on the lower control arm down here where your stock shocks would mount had welded nuts. Had to grind those smooth and drill them larger for the bolts that go through these coilovers. And I got the Speedway coilover reinforcement plates that go down into the pocket there. And it's turning out pretty good. So I'm going to finish buttoning this up and get the wheels on it and see what it looks like. One thing I thought of while I was putting this back together is that I had to modify this caliper bracket down here at the bottom, and I'll put a picture in of what it looked like before. I just had to chop the corner off there to clear this spindle, but with this spindle the stock disc brakes do bolt back to it. But it did also require hardware because this spindle is threaded, whereas the factory used through bolts with nuts. Alright, just finished her up. Set her on the ground and it's way too low, but got a lot of adjustment left in the coilovers, so I'll have to try to jack it up a little bit and check the springs, see if the rates are good. But I think that's it for now. Next up is the rear, but thanks for watching.